Well, as a coach, there are a lot of different emotions today. And one, because I have a great respect for Pat and the job he's done. And, we went into this game looking at Penn State, knowing that, hey, they beat Iowa and Indiana. We haven't beaten Iowa yet. And they're playing some of their best basketball. And when I say we gave it full prep, I mean, we made the game as big a deal as we could because we thought they were playing good, and yet we also wanted to accomplish some things that I think we did accomplish. Early on, I talked to our guys about we're going to have those days when our shots aren't going in, and early on they did not go in. And I think Matt said 0 for 6 in the first 6 shots. No, Denzel was. We were 3 of 15. That's even worse, and then we went 14 and out of the next 18. But our defense and our rebounding kept us in the game, and that's the way it's got to be if you're going to win as we move forward here. I felt a little bad for Zell because I thought he had some great looks. Didn't go in. Bryn had some great looks. Didn't go in. Zell had some assists that ended up fouls, so you don't count them. So Denzel was valuable again because he did a lot of things. Got guys to the line, got them in foul trouble. He made some big shots second half, made some great passes, and we missed some shots early, and it was kind of our day, And then at the end, those seniors probably deserve to play a little bit more, but those other guys do so much for me that I felt like I deserved to play them a little bit more, and sometimes it doesn't work out as good as you'd like it to, but I'm not going to let that dampen an incredible day because our guys inside came to play. And so I'd love a question on why I jump Matt Costello or why I Didi. It's those guys today, they played like men. And Schilling got a couple man rebounds, and that's a difference. And, we play like that. Inside, our guards will be good enough. Aaron Harris missed some great shots too, but played hard defensively. Our defense was stellar for most of that game. We got a little lazy later. We rebounded well. And we did get to the line. We just didn't make some free throws, which is disappointing to me. But nice to see Matt back in a double-double. And only playing 19 minutes, so that's pretty impressive. And I thought we took a step forward. So questions, I'll take them.
Tom, in the first half, as you just mentioned, the shots weren't exactly falling. You guys were shooting something like 30% at one of the stoppages, but then you get up to 51% in the first half. So just how great is that to see this kind of resiliency out of your guys at this time of the year?
Well, I think what it is it's it makes me feel like they're listening. And the reason I say that, we had to have our defense if our shots aren't going in. And then in a couple of huddles, I told them I thought we had great shots. They just weren't going in. So maybe it's a surprise to us guys, but learn to live with it because this is the way it is normally. It's not always that you come out and make some of the shots we made. So as long as we kept getting good shots, I thought in the first half I could count on a couple of fingers the number of bad shots we took. I got no problem. Bryn and Aaron and Zell usually, they had some wide open ones, and they just didn't hit them. And I think it was a good learning lesson, and I really appreciated the way we just kept checking, and nobody got down on it, And so I think that is a big step in the right direction.
Coach, can you just talk a little bit about your transition game? And the secondary break worked really well today. And then I know Zell's known for his vision, but today he seemed to be exceptional. He could have had 15 assists today. There was the break where he came down and Costello ran the floor. He found Forbes on the opposite side of the court for an open three.
That's what we talked to our guys about. That was impressive. Nobody would ever understand that, and I'm really impressed that a media guy did. But Costello running the floor really opened it up for him. And in the last game, our bigs weren't running the floor. And so it's kind of funny how they feed off each other. But I think if we hit the shots we've been hitting, or if we wouldn't have got fouled on some of those that maybe would have been layups because you don't get an assist for a foul, I think Zell would have had a ton of assists. And our break was good because our defense was good, our rebounding was good, our outlets were good, and that makes your break better. So it's so funny how they all fit together, and that's what we're trying to sell our team. And maybe I gotta figure out, how did I sell my media better than my team, because it's taken them longer to figure it out than you guys. So it was. I thought at times our break was exceptional.
Tom, do you feel for Pat Chambers in moments like this? I mean,
Yeah.
he seems to be battling for every bit of respect he can get, and you've been there a long time ago.
Yeah, because I'm telling you, he's a good coach. And, his team has won 4 out of 5. They're really growing and making some plays. And I just talked to him, and I told him, I thought that call, unfortunately, that he blew up on was the right one. Maybe there were some calls before that. I don't know. But we're all frustrated sometimes and with the difference in things. But this is a good coach who's busting his butt and has some good young kids that are getting better and played pretty well. And yet I thought our defense was the difference in the game, and so that's why I struggled. I got some players that are up for some awards and things like that, and I'm pulling them out with 11, 12 minutes left to go in the game, and I'll be honest with you all, I struggled with that. Because sometimes I don't think others do, but what I was really excited about is how Denzel and Bryn and Matt handled it. It was important that Matt get a double-double today, because we just wanted to make sure everybody understood that him and I were on the same page, and he did. And so it was, if Pat wouldn't have got thrown out, I might have left him in there longer, but my heart overruled my head, and that's what I did.
Tom, you're talking about your big men and their ability to rebound the ball today, but it seemed like they were moving the ball well, especially to creating some inside out. I think I counted 8 assists from power forwards and centers. Can you talk about that? How to facilitate this offense?
God, we're 2 for 2 here with you guys. That's a good thing to see too. Is the inside out we've worked on really hard. In fact, yesterday's practice we said you can't shoot it until it goes inside, and it only can be an inside out pass that we can shoot it, or a post to post pass. So as coaches, we're trying to improve. As players, they're trying to improve, and it's nice when you see some of those things happen. And it is against a good team. I'm not saying they're a great team, but this team has played really well and played really well as of late. And so I think, one more step. We got a large ladder to climb here, but step by step, day by day, we're just going to keep trying to get better. I said to my team, my AD called me last night. I said, you know what? We've had 3 great days of practice. That's kind of un-American for me to say that, and I felt good about it. And sure enough, we practiced well, we played well. And I think that's encouraging, too. It'll give me something to build on with them. As we get a little tough stretch now, we've had a pretty good stretch, but all of a sudden we go with 3 games in 6 days and 1 on the road, the farthest road game. So it'll be important that we stick together.
Tom, obviously Davis and Costello came out with a lot of energy, as you probably expected after Tuesday. I was wondering how much Davis's defense was a factor on Taylor. I know he had the foul trouble, but how much was Davis just kind of taking him out of the game early?
Well, we gave him the old Michael Jordan, the 4 and 6 eyes. We tried, and a couple times our guards did not get down in there as well as they should have. And when that happened, Didi did it on his own, but he come over and blocked some shots. He's starting to realize that he can't try to block every shot and then give up a rebound. His timing's getting better. But Matt Costello, blocked some too. And, what I really, really enjoyed is Didi made a double drop move. It's a move that they work on a lot. And Matt was more excited when he made it than Didi. And that's what's starting to happen. Our upperclassmen have been unbelievable all year. We better end this press conference, or I'll give everybody too much credit, and then I'll be back to dog eat dog time. But it's they are getting better, and I think Didi is kind of figured out that the other night wasn't good enough.
Tom, you guys were up big with like 7 minutes to go, and a few guys hit the floor. Was there somebody in particular you were happy with?
Oh, Didi. I told him that he's got knees that have never been scratched, and if he could get a floor burn on his knees, hug and kiss him, but I didn't quite do that, but I felt good. You know, when I saw him go on the floor, I said, that kid's growing up, man. He's making progress. And, you know, it sounds crazy if you asked any one of our guys. It was mentioned in the pregame, and I was proud of him that he's at least gradually learning what he's got to do.
Tom, is there a key for getting, you know, the bigs especially to continue that as they move forward and not have the little lull like before? And then also I want to ask you about Tom. Is that maybe a little too many minutes today that you wanted?
Yeah. You know, we wanted to see how it went with him. I wanted to try to get him some time. You know, I probably had too many, but it's not going to change anything. As far as our bigs, you know, you got to ask them. I mean, they've been working pretty hard all year, you know, but the difference of intensity really gets magnified with both those guys, you know. Didi's a step weak, and Matt's a step slow. And so if you don't have your intensity, those things get magnified. If you do, then, you know, then the other great skills that you have can take over. I thought Matt Costello went up and got some two-hand rebounds that I haven't seen in a while, not just – and they were big. I mean, they had some size in there at times. So, you know what? It's the most fun in coaching is to address something and get a response. You know, and you think about it, the second half of that game, Saturday or Tuesday, we got a response, and then the carryover in practice, and then this, you know, we'll get a response. But we're not done pushing buttons. I mean, we got to get responses on a lot of things. Our free throw shooting, we got to get back on track on, and our zone offense wasn't great. So there's still a lot of things to work on.
Tom, Chambers mentioned that your three seniors, you can hear them out there talking the entire time. How happy are you with this team, just their communicative ability?
You know, that was one of our keys going into the game, and it's kind of funny because I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden Fife said, listen to those three guys talking. And he even included Aaron Harris in there. And so I'd have to agree. Hey, tell your wife you're working, would you? Timeout. Those guys, the communication is a big part, and the guy we got to get to communicate better is Didi, a little bit Aaron, and Aaron has grown so much. Didi's grown gradually, and that makes you a much better defensive team because there's a comfort level out there when you hear other people talking to you. I think I've told you, I've always tell them it's like being in a dark room, you know. It's not as scary if you hear a bunch of people talking. That's kind of what it's like out there in the wing if you're some of our guys and they're looking to get blown by. If they got help, they feel better.
Tom, way in the back. You've been awfully nice during this press conference. I know I will help you bring your team back down. As tournament time approaches, what's one or two things you want to see over the next two games that they really need to, you know, excel in to make sure they're ready?
You know, I thought, you know, inside when we got it in there a couple times, post moves, we got to still improve on. Schilling made some decent moves and didn't finish, fumbled the ball some. Aaron Harris got to shoot the ball better. He's been shooting the ball really well in practice, and we got to get him probably more touches. We did run a few things, got him off some screens today. He came off them great, so I think we'll improve that. Some of that is him, some of it is the coaches, and what you just asked me about, what do we got to improve on? Players got to improve on some things. Coaches got to improve on some things. We got to get, you know, we're a little bit more. I think we're getting a little bit more of a substitution pattern. I wouldn't call today's anything but crazy, but I do think we're starting to feel a little more comfortable in what we do. I thought we got a little more out of Marv. You know, he went in there and rebounded. He played with aggression, even though I don't know how many minutes he ended up playing, 12, 13. But, you know, I think we got a long ways to go because, you know, at times we're not as good against small teams. At times we're not as good against big teams. But what we've been is pretty consistent executing our offense right now. And that is encouraging because I believe somehow as we get down here to the nitty-gritty, our defense is going to start getting rock solid. And started working at it harder. I thought you could see some improvement today. A little bit of a problem when we got a big lead, we relaxed a little bit, and the dribble drives hurt us with fouls like it did early in the year. But I really believe it was more the game than it was the you know, the individual athlete.
Tom, with 2 weeks to go before Selection Sunday, do you guys find yourself maybe scoreboard watching, and do you talk about the possibility of maybe getting a number 1 seed in the NCAA tournament?
Probably this year more than ever, I've done less scoreboard watching and less talking about that. I have, we did talk a little bit about this week, for the first time after Maryland or Purdue beat Maryland yesterday. Last night we just said, hey, you know what? There's a little crack in the door. And what we have to do is take care of our business. And then if somebody helps us, they help us. If they don't, I'm cool with that, And that's about all we did there. As far as nationally, I just watch those teams to see why I think they're losing. Why is it that they're getting fat and sassy? Is it that they're, not coming to play? Is it that some other team just plays better? I'm trying to look at the different reasons. And our battle cry lately is let's be different. Let's not get caught up in worried about the rankings, worried about this and that. Let's us be different and not have letdowns, because a lot of teams have. And so it's been different for me. Not many times are we playing with 3 games left and haven't had a shot at winning it. I mean, a decent shot. This is a long shot. And what I've done with that is I've kind of homed in on this one and done thing, and how can we get better with the little things so that when it comes time to the tournaments, either one of them, we appreciate that bad free throw shooting could send you home. A couple missed rebounds could send you home. A couple of bad turnovers can send you home. Not playing scared, just playing educated. And that's what I've been working on in the last week, and I think we made a little progress today. Anything else? Last one.
Tom, looking back at when Bryn decided to transfer, or when you guys went after Bryn, whatever, just him and Denzel as a tandem, has Bryn kind of exceeded the expectations? Because obviously, they're successful together, their past relationship, but has Bryn kind of brought more to the tandem than you thought maybe he originally would?
Yeah, Bryn has. I love Bryn. He's, like I said, he'll make a mistake. He didn't check very well, started the second half, but he's been guarding really well. But he always wants to please. He always wants to work, and he's in this gym more than anybody, including Denzel. I mean, Bryn Forbes has made himself a player, and he's going to play somewhere. He just shoots it so well, and he's been pretty solid defensively. And as he gets stronger and this and that, I thought he could be a good player for us. He's turned out to be a great player for us. And hopefully now that'll continue, because we do need him. We need a guy. If you look at our losses, a lot of it revolved around, not around him playing bad, but maybe people taking him away. I think he's a better player now, because I think he knows how to use those screens. I think we're screening a little better. I think he's coming off them. And he doesn't need much time to get a shot off. And that's been encouraging. So close it up. I'd say that, today was a strange day. I felt for Pat, and, it was a tough day for them. They're a better team than they played. I thought we were a better team than we shot the first half. But I thought we did a lot of good things that are going to help us. And if we can keep growing and just not let any distractions, I think we got a chance to make a run here. So that's what it's all about this time of year. Thanks.